Hey everyone, it's Saoirse, and today we are going to talk about a little bit of poetry. This is going to be a simple video, maybe not a lot of commentary. This is A Thousand Mornings by Mary Oliver. Now, I got this when I was visiting San Francisco. I took a little side trip to Muir Woods, and they had a gift shop there. And I thought, oh, some nature poetry, that is what I'm in the mood for now after seeing all these gorgeous coastal redwood trees. And I've always loved Mary Oliver. She has a way with using simple, clear language to describe our connection to nature. It's never really like convoluted concepts or pretentious sentences. It's just, this is us and this is nature and this is how we are all one with it. And I love that so much. So we're just going to read some of these that stood out to me. This is called I Go Down to the Shore. I go down to the shore in the morning, and depending on the hour, the waves are rolling in or moving out. And I say, oh, I am miserable. What should I do? And the sea says in its lovely voice, excuse me, I have work to do. One of the things that I love most about being in nature, and especially as a long-distance backpacker, is that when I'm deep in the backcountry and up on a mountain, after having worked really hard to get there, I look around and I realize that pretty much everything I've been worrying about does not need to be worried about. You feel very small, but not in an insignificant way. In a way that connects you to the rest of the small things that make up the big thing, which is the universe. This is called Hurricane. It didn't behave like anything you had ever imagined. The wind tore at the trees, the rain fell for days slant and hard, the back of the hand to everything. I watched the trees bow and their leaves fall and crawl back into the earth, as though that was that. This was one hurricane I lived through. The other one was of a different sort and lasted longer. Then I felt my own leaves giving up and falling, the back of the hand to everything. But listen now to what happened to the actual trees. Toward the end of that summer, they pushed new leaves from their stubbed limbs. It was the wrong season, yes, but they couldn't stop. They looked like telephone poles and didn't care. And after the leaves came blossoms. For some things there are no wrong seasons, which is what I dream of for me. I love any poem about a hurricane. Having grown up in Florida, it's just kind of a topic that we love to talk about. And it's interesting, I actually just had a poem published that is about the fate of my trees after Hurricane Ian a couple years ago. I don't think I posted that on here yet, did I? Okay, I'm gonna have to do that. But hurricanes, something about storms, like call it simple, but they just give us so much fuel for writing. There seems like there's so much symbolism in storms. This is called An Old Story. Sleep comes its little while. Then I wake in the valley of midnight or 3 a.m. to the first fragrances of spring, which is coming all by itself, no matter what. My heart says, what you thought you have, you do not have. My body says, will this pounding ever stop? My heart says, there, be a good student. My body says, let me up and out. I want to fondle those soft white flowers open in the night. This is called Tides. Every day the sea, blue, gray, green, lavender, pulls away, leaving the harbor's dark cobbled undercoat. Slick and rutted and worm-riddled, the gulls walk there among old whale bones. The white spines of fish blink from the strandy stew as the hours tick over, and then, far out, the faint, sheer line turns, rustling over the slack, the outer bars, over the green-furred flats, over the clam beds, slippery logs, barnacle-studded stones, dragging the shining sheets forward, deepening, pushing, wreathing together wave and seaweed, their piled curvatures spilling over themselves, lapping blue, gray, green, lavender, never resting, not ever but fashioning shore, continent, everything. And here you may find me on almost any morning, walking along the shore, so light-footed, so casual. Ooh, that one was beautiful. You know, sometimes when you read a poem and you're just like, that was delicious. The words were just so delicious in that one. Uh, and you can see how none of the words are difficult to understand, but she puts them together in a way that is just, it's obviously poetry. I admire it so much. This is called Out of the Stump Rot Something. Out of the stump rot, something glides forward that is not a rope, unless a rope has eyes, lips, tongue like a smack of smoke, body without shoulders, thus the black snake floating over the leaves of the old year and down to the pond, to the green just beginning to fuzzle out of the earth, also like smoke. If you like a prettiness, don't come here. Look at pictures instead, or wait for the daffodils. This is spring by the rattled pond, in the shambled woods, as spring has always been and always will be. No matter what we do in the suburbs, the matted fur, the red blood, the bats unshuttering their terrible faces, and black snake gliding across the field. You think you own. Long neck, long tail, tongue on fire, heart of stone. I like that one because she has clearly such an appreciation for the things about nature that people who don't love all nature would think are kind of gross and unsettling. And the thing is, not just flowers are beautiful, but also scary looking bats and the things that grow under old logs, because it's all part of the cycle of life. Okay, last one we're going to look at. The poet compares human nature to the ocean from which we came. The sea can do craziness, it can do smooth, it can lie down like silk breathing or toss havoc shoreward, it can give gifts or withhold all. It can rise, ebb, froth like an incoming frenzy of fountains, or it can sweet talk entirely, as I can too, and so no doubt can you and you. So right there we have her comparing human nature to the ocean. That kind of perfectly encapsulates how I feel about this book, the way that it connects humanity to nature. And this is kind of a perfect one to be talking about right after Earth Day. So I hope you enjoyed it. That was a very, very short video, but we have a few poetry collections coming up. So until I see you next time, happy reading.